Gun violence is not just a problem here in Northeast Ohio, it's an issue nationwide.
And the unfortunate truth is that Cleveland still ranks as one of the most dangerous cities in this country.
But as local officials continue their efforts to stop the violence, we're asking what is being done to curb the problem.
New at 6, Chris Fry sits down with Cleveland's top cop to get answers.
Need a SWAT here for gunshot.
It's easy for people to settle their scores or whatever issues they're having with a handgun because it's so easily accessible.
And that accessibility has led to a violent culture in the city. Wayne Drummond has seen it all firsthand. Now as Cleveland's police chief, the 30-plus-year veteran has the task of trying to curb the violence. Age and gender aren't immune to these incidents, and he says that's the disturbing part to the different crimes he's seeing, whether it's a carjacking or an accidental shooting.
That's gun violence. You know, it's not the traditional gun violence that people think of when, you know, there's someone's committing a robbery or a homicide and so forth. The accessibility of guns that's just extremely troubling and hard to get over.
Back in January, Mayor Justin Bibb reiterated his efforts to eliminate guns in his city.
I want to make sure that the men and women of the Cleveland Division of Police are focused on getting more guns off the street, making sure that we close our homicide rate.
According to data from Cleveland Police, in 2022, homicides were actually down just over 9%, with 16 fewer deaths in 2021. But now in 2023, those homicides are back on the uptick, with around 40 or so as of this recording. So where does Cleveland rank in terms of homicides in the state of Ohio? Well, data from the FBI in 2019 shows that in Cincinnati, they had 64 homicides. Columbus had 81, Cleveland with a whopping 92.
So in an effort to bring those numbers down, Chief Drummond says more help is on the way using old school methods and new school technology.
What is your office doing to try and combat those hotspot areas?
We use the ShotSpotter, technology, or gunshot technology, detection technology to help us identify areas where we haven't shots fired calls, because what we found based on our statistic is that I think sometimes people become kind of accustomed to it, so they don't call. Whereas with this technology, the gunshot goes off, the technology hears it.
Chief Drummond also says his department is going back to beat cops to be more visible in communities and to deter would-be criminals.
Each district, each shift, with the exception of night shift, they're required, to get out their cars and to go into neighborhoods and business areas and actually engage people.
And it's a heartbreaking predicament when you have to engage with families to let them know that their loved one has died from a gun crime.
What do you tell a person who's been affected by gun violence?
If someone's a victim of a homicide, obviously conveying to their families that we really feel for them. Obviously can't tell them that we know how they're feeling, because we can't. And also let them know that we're doing all we can to obviously help them out and just make our community safer.
Chris Fry, 19 News.